The 1990s was a decade defined by grunge music, the rise of the internet, and a sense of global optimism. But beneath the neon lights and pop culture icons, a series of chilling mysteries took root, mysteries that remain unsolved to this day. People went to work, played in parks, or took family vacations, only to vanish into thin air, leaving behind nothing but empty chairs and decades of questions. If you're looking for a deep dive into the shadows of the 90s, here are 10 of the most haunting disappearances that still baffle investigators today. A1. Michael Donaghy, 1991. The playground mystery. It was a Sunday afternoon in Victoria, British Columbia. 4-year-old Michael Donaghy asked his mother, Crystal, if he could run to the playground a mere 100 yards away while she prepared for a flag football game. She said yes, and Bruce, his father, kept an eye on him. Within the span of a few seconds, while Bruce's attention was momentarily diverted, Michael vanished. Despite being in a public park filled with people, no one saw a struggle. No one saw a stranger. One of Canada's largest police investigations followed, but not a single piece of Michael's clothing or a confirmed sighting has ever been found. It remains a loss of innocence for the entire city. A2. Ben Needham, 1991. The farmhouse vanishing. Across the world. On the Greek island of Kos, 21-month-old Ben Needham was playing outside a remote farmhouse his grandparents were renovating. At approximately 2:30 p.m., the family realized the toddler was gone. For decades, theories ranged from a Roma family kidnapping him to a tragic accident involving a local digger. In 2016, British detectives suggested Ben likely died in a construction accident that day, but without a body or DNA evidence from the site, his mother, Carrie, continues to hold out hope that her son is still out there. A3. Tara Calico, 1988-1989, the Polaroid that haunted the world. While Tara disappeared in late 1988, her case became the face of 90s mystery due to chilling discovery in June 1989. A Polaroid photo was found in a Florida parking lot showing a young woman and a boy bound and gagged in the back of a van. Tara's mother was convinced the girl in the photo was her daughter. The boy was thought to be Michael Henley, who had also vanished nearby, though his remains were later found in the mountains, ruled as exposure. The identity of the girl in the photo and the fate of Tara Calico remains one of the most disturbing what-ifs in true crime history. A4. Richie Edwards, 1995, the rock star who walked away. Richie Edwards was the lyricist and guitarist for the Manic Street Preachers. On February 1, 1995, the day he was supposed to fly to the U.S. for a promotional tour, he checked out of his London hotel at 7:00 a.m. and disappeared. His car was found abandoned 16 days later at the Severn Bridge, a notorious suicide spot. However, fans and family have long debated this theory, citing alleged sightings of Richie in Goa, India, and the Canary Islands. Did he succumb to his mental health struggles? Or did a man who famously tattooed "For Real" on his arm decide to stage the ultimate disappearing act? A5. Morgan Nick, 1995, the red truck. 6-year-old Morgan Nick was at a Little League game in Alma, Arkansas. She was catching fireflies with her friends just a few yards from her mother, Colleen. When the game ended and it was time to go, Morgan was gone. Witnesses reported a creepy man in a red pickup truck with a white camper shell. For nearly 30 years, the case sat cold until 2024, when DNA evidence linked the deceased man, Billy Jack Links, to the truck and potentially the crime. However, Morgan herself has never been found, and the search for her remains continuous. A6. Jodi Huisentruth, 1995, the anchorwoman abducted Jody Weissentrute was a rising star as a news anchor in Mason City, Iowa. On the morning of June 27, she overslept for her 4 a.m. shift. She told her producer she was heading out the door. She never arrived. In the parking lot of her apartment, police found signs of a violent struggle. Her hairdryer, earrings, and shoes were scattered near her car. Despite a massive media presence and thousands of leads, Jody was never found. Her case remains a grim reminder of how quickly a life can be snatched away in the early morning silence. A7. The Springfield 3, 1992, a house full of secrets. Say on June 7, 1992, Cheryl Levitt, Susie Streeter, and Stacy McCall disappeared from Cheryl's home in Springfield, Missouri. The girls had just graduated high school and went back to the house to sleep. When friends arrived the next morning, the house was unlocked, the cars were in the driveway, and the women's purses were lined up in the hallway. The only clue? A broken globe on the porch light. It's as if they were simply erased from the room. To this day, the Springfield 3 remains one of the most baffling triple disappearances in American history. A8. Amy Lynn Bradley, 1998, lost at sea. 23-year-old Amy was on a family cruise on the Rhapsody of the Seas. In the early hours of March 24, her father saw her sleeping on their cabin balcony. By 6 a.m., she was gone. Unlike many cruise disappearances where the victim is assumed to have fallen overboard, there have been multiple credible sightings of Amy in the Caribbean years later. Some believe she was sold into human trafficking. A photo of a woman looking remarkably like an older Amy, posed suggestively on a bed, was even sent to the family in 2005, though its authenticity has never been proven. A9. Asha Degree, 2000, the girl who walked into the storm. Technically at the very end of the decade, 9-year-old Asha Degree vanished on Valentine's Day morning. For reasons unknown, she packed her bag and walked out of her North Carolina home in the middle of a thunderstorm. A motorist saw her walking along Highway 18 at 4 a.m. When one tried to approach her, she ran into the woods. A year later, her backpack was found buried 26 miles away, wrapped in plastic. Why did a shy, happy girl leave her home in the middle of the night? In late 2024 and early 2025, new search warrants and suspects have emerged, suggesting we may finally be close to the truth. A10. Sneha Ann Phillip, 2001, the eve of 9/11. Dr. Sneha Ann Phillip was last seen on CCTV on September 10, 2001, at a department store near her Manhattan apartment. She never came home that night. Because she disappeared less than 12 hours before the World Trade Center attacks, her case is uniquely tragic. Was she a victim of the towers while rushing in to help as a doctor? Or did she use the chaos of the next day to start a new life? While she is officially listed as a victim of 9/11, the lack of remains in her mysterious activities on the 10th keep this case shrouded in doubt. A conclusion. A decade of echoes at the 90s gave us so much, but for the families of these 10 individuals, it took away everything. These cases aren't just stories, they are open wounds. Every year that passes makes the trail colder, but with modern DNA technology and the power of the internet, the hope is that one day, these families will finally get the one thing they've been denied, an answer.